Phone has a little bit more of a dated, Apple A9 chip inside of it, a dual core CPU, and 2 gigabytes of RAM on each model. Now, what I can tell you is that this was actually the first iPhone to bring 2 gigs of RAM, just like how it was the first iPhone to bring 4K at 30. And what I can tell you is that for sure, it's definitely not, the fastest performing phone. It's definitely not, the best performing iPhone ever. But what I can tell you is that for a 5-year-old phone that's still getting software support, that has crazy features still, I think it has more than enough capability for, it to be someone's daily phone for the most part. Now, is it going to be someone's daily phone and they're going to think they have the best phone? Absolutely not. But if you had to actually use this phone, I think you would probably go, perfectly fine with it. And the reason I say that is because I have compared this phone. First of all, I've been using this phone for many years, but I have been comparing this phone against so many other competitors, the iPhone SE2, the iPhone 12s, the iPhone 11s, the iPhone 10s, the 10Rs. I have found that for the most part, this phone, the biggest problem with it is the slowness of it and the gaming aspect. But once the apps are loaded, once Snapchat is loaded or once Instagram is loaded on your display and all this stuff, you're going to have probably the same experience as you would on any other phone for the most part. As long as you're not comparing it side by side to another phone, you're going to be totally okay. You still have, support for pretty much every single app that's ever came out. There's really nothing crazy that like an iPhone 12 can do that the iPhone 6s cannot do. Of course, it's not as fast, it's not as smooth, but you're still getting the same type of support. And hopefully that makes sense. I mean, again, I would not go and downgrade to the iPhone 6s because I like having a faster phone and like having more capabilities. But the iPhone 6s is still a pretty fast and a pretty smooth phone still. Now, throughout my time, even in 2020, I have seen that iOS 14 has taken a little bit of toll in the smoothness factor, but I feel like that may be fixed throughout probably from now until that, April timeframe. But once come like around May, June, and we get the final versions of iOS 14, I feel like we're going to have a really solid, polished version of software as we always do year after year. And since this is probably going to be the last update we're having, in that case, I would think it would still be perfectly fine for people to pick up this phone even maybe like a year after this video, possibly. If it ends off in a smooth spot. If it's not smooth, then it probably wouldn't be a good recommendation. But I think the performance aspect is probably one of its better assets for sure. Now on